Yeah,
I never heard about him suing any girls lately.
yeah, just Laura Lee, just like
Really?
2 weeks ago.
What's the reason?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know the insights. But she came out in the video and she stated that he started suing her, and he's
Oh
calling. He's.
wow.
I think he's suing her for defamation. I don't know. I don't know exactly. I don't even know him, so I won't. I won't speak on him
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
her because that's not my case. But yeah, I did not know that the Readers were from Montreal. I knew they were from Canada, but Montreal. So I've been to Montreal before. It's a beautiful city,
Yeah.
and like I said, and I thought everybody just speaks French.
No.
But they still have people that don't speak English.
Yeah. So how it works usually is that on the island of Montreal, which is like a big city, on the west side of it, there's a lot of English-speaking people that sometimes don't even speak French. Like my friend Dura, Dura, the pro,
Yeah,
the 212.
yeah, yeah.
He doesn't speak French at all. He's living his whole life in Montreal, and then in the whole Montreal, like pretty much the whole island is bilingual. And the further away you get from the island into the suburbs, the countryside, people speak less and less bilingual and less English.
Okay, but what's the state called? Is it Quebec?
Quebec.
Quebec,
Yeah,
Quebec.
we call it a province.
Oh, okay, province, and that's all.
Yeah.
That's usually French.
Quebec is the French Canadian province. As soon as you cross the border, usually there's no more French people.
Oh, okay, okay. Isn't
Yeah.
and George St. Pierre is also from Montreal, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. He trains at TriStar. There's a big gym over there for mixed martial arts.
Yeah. You follow mixed martial arts?
A little bit because because of Joe Rogan. Like I know because I listen to his podcast. I know a lot about stand-up comedians and UFC and stuff. But that's my extent of it. It's just what he says and what I follow a few accounts on Instagram, so I see the beef sometimes. And when it's a really good fight, I pay the pay-per-view. But sometimes I just like look the highlights and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So let's talk about you. Growing up in Montreal, Canada. Antoine, you're not even that old now. What are you, 30? 30, what are you, 30 something?
No, hey, that's great. I'm 34.
34 years old.
Yeah,
Wow.
87.
Yeah. Still a baby, man.
I guess. Yeah, I still got some time. If you look at Ronnie, who peaked at 40.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Yeah.
37. I turned pro when I was 32. Yeah. So yeah, and you've been a pro for how long? Like 2012?
2012. Yeah, so that's 10 years.
Yeah. Give me a quick rundown. How did you start bodybuilding, and when and how did you get to turn pro? How fast?
So I started bodybuilding 2003. I wanted to have a physique. Like I was looking at back then, it was bodybuilding.com was the main website, and
Right.
getbig.com. Remember that?
Yes.
Muscle Mayhem.
Oh yes.
So I was like browsing the bodybuilding.com forum. I was 2004, reading some of the articles, seeing some pictures, and in 2003, I joined a gym locally, and I got a magazine, MD magazine, with like Dexter Jackson on the cover. I don't know if you remember, but I think the 2003 Mr. Olympia review was like there was a bunch of guys on the cover. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I was like, wow. So that really impressed me. Then I was already doing push-ups and curls at home because of like all the movies we watched as we were younger, Arnold and Stallone, all that stuff. And I just wanted to be strong because that's what you want to do as a kid, right? Sometimes it's like, oh, what am I supposed to be like as a man? And sometimes it's like, it's the first thing that comes up to your mind. I got to be strong, whatever. So I started doing push-ups and bicep curls at home. And then I realized through the bodybuilding.com website that won't cut it if I want to look like that. So I got to join a gym. And I wanted to compete. And to do that, I had to join a gym. So I showed up to the gym. I think that was 2003, yeah. And I actually told the owner, oh, I want to compete in bodybuilding. And I never stepped in a gym before that. So he made me a 3-day split. I did that, 3 days on, 1 day off. And I had some pretty good results pretty quick. And a year later, I competed at 16 years old. And I won my class in a junior locally. But it wasn't a big win. But for me, I was like, wow, I did it all by myself.
Yeah.
Just me, my own efforts, my own knowledge. I did that by myself. So I kept going that route. So in the junior, I had a good run. I won twice the Canadian Nationals in the junior class. And then I went up to the Open at 20 years old, and I didn't do very well. I got last place in the Supers when Ben Pakulski won the overall. So, yeah, and I remember Ben Pakulski. I always tell that story every time I see him almost, is that you remember when I was backstage and you told me like, oh, no, you're too soft. You're not ripped enough. You got to get shredded. Like, that's a waste of time here.
Who told
So
you?
it was Ben Pokulski.
Oh, really?
Yeah, straight up. He told me I was too soft. He was right. I started partying a little bit back then, right? So then I was like, oh, shit, all right. And then I kind of like party too much a little bit. Then I kind of got my shit together to do the Arnold Classic Amateurs 2011. Yeah, so that was my first international show as an amateur, and I signed with Universal back then, and I got second place to Matthias Bothoff, who won the overall.
Matthias, yeah, from Germany,
Yeah, exactly. So I saw Arnold walk past just in front of me to give the trophy and the handshake to the guy who beat me. So I was like, wow, I was one person away from shaking Arnold's hand and getting my pro card. So that made me realize that, hey, I have potential to be a pro. So I did the nationals the same year. Mike Johnson, I became friend with him that day, beat me, and Jerome Bravo beat me that day. So I didn't get the pro card, but I did the nationals the next year at Edmonton, and I teamed up with John Meadows back then, like a year before that. At first, I was looking at his stuff. I was like, wow, this. After like 10 years of training, because was that 10 years? Was around almost 10 years of training I did. I thought I knew everything. And then I saw John Meadows' stuff. I was like, wow, like what is all that new stuff? So I reached out to him. I actually bought a training program from him just for back. And then when he saw I was motivated, he just decided to help me out. Then we peaked for that show, and I won the pro card, 2012 in Edmonton. And then after that, I mean, it's another story, but that's the story up to my pro card.
Yeah, you have. I mean, for me, you are. I kind of like. I when I think about you, first let me get this right, because we were speculating. How do you pronounce your last name?
Vaillant.
Vaillant. I was right.
Oh, you were right.
Yeah, I was right.
That's good. Usually people they have trouble because the double L in French, like Spanish, it's like a Y.
Okay, yeah. See, I was right. Okay, good. So, but for me, when I think about you, I think about a guy that falls over and gets back up.
Yeah. All the time.
All the shit that you had to go through. I mean, just since I know of you and know you, the shit that you had to go through, where I don't think anybody else would get back up or would get back, and said, I'm gonna keep doing this. You had issues with drugs that you admitted. You were very, very open, which I really appreciate, because I think a lot of people learn from that. And then you deal with injuries it's almost like on the regular.
Yeah, every 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, and every time you get ready I saw you twice getting ready for a show, and then something happens.
Yeah.
What do you do? How do you tell yourself, listen, I'm gonna get back up and I'm gonna keep doing it?
That's a good question.
Yeah, where's that motivation coming from?
Well, it's like, to be honest, since I kind of like overcame drug addiction, anything that comes to me after that.
So when you say drug addiction, hold on one second. When you say drug addiction, what are we talking about?
Well, it's like I was using drugs to have fun at first when I was younger.
So party drugs.
Party drugs.
Okay.
And that gave me some type of instant reward, of course, in the brain. And then before that, I was like, life was kind of dull for me. Then when I found that, what I was lacking kind of like went away. So that filled up a big void. But then by using that, it's like without it, I felt even shittier. So, and because after I turned pro, I had no schedule. I dropped the job at the gym as a trainer. I did full-time videos, like the contracts, full-time bodybuilding. And after my pro card, I felt entitled to party, because I worked hard, and no schedule, no structure, no girlfriend back then. I was like, I can do this whenever I want. And whenever I wanted was like almost every day.
Yeah.
So, and then who parties on a Tuesday afternoon? It's like, it's never people with 9 to 5 jobs, right? Yeah. So it's like I started hanging out with the wrong people. So that's how it started. And then I had lots of fun, to be honest, but that's before I tried to stop and there was big consequences. Because when my friend died of overdose on Christmas Eve in 2014, I was like, last thing he told me was like, you got to stop doing drugs. You got to get back to your bodybuilding and stuff. Then he went missing 6 days and was found dead on Christmas Eve in 2014. And I was like, okay, maybe party's over. So 2 weeks later, I even have a videos on on YouTube for that. January 5th, 2015, I said that, okay, maybe I have a problem. That's why I was away. I'm getting back into it. So that was the first time I decided to stop using drugs. But that was 2015. It's like I didn't understand that, oh, just deciding will fix it. No. The addiction was like deep ingrained in me. And then I was like relapse after relapse. I said I would stop.
So you really literally had problems getting, just letting it go.
Yeah, for sure. Because as my friend dies, I decide to stop using drugs. 2 weeks later, I do it again. I was like, holy shit. Oh, I think I'm in trouble. And then it didn't take long for me to go to rehab because I was like, okay, well, I was kind of like humbled and smart enough in a way, and I'm grateful for that, to be like, you know what? I tried everything by myself, whatever. I was ready to do anything. And they're ready to do anything to save my life, So, but it was very hard. Like I did 4 rehabs, and even recently, like last year in May, I relapsed again after doing the Olympia.
People always ask how I got here. I was willing to work just a little harder than everyone else. Every damn day. If I can have hundreds of hours back, I'm gonna grab them. Spending hours prepping chicken, rice, and vegetables, F that. I rely on perfect nutrition. I rely on trifecta.
Oh, really?
And yeah. There's videos on YouTube about that. But maybe some people don't know that. But after the Olympia, I relapsed again with all the knowledge and recovery I had, because I stopped doing what got me there for the whole 2020. The 2020 was a rough year for everybody, and especially for addicts and people suffering from other mental issues, because you're like, everything is thrown off. You're isolated, this and that. Because I use like 12-step meetings that I go in person to be part of my recovery, and a lot of those were closed.
But let me ask you this, because this interests me totally. What do you tell yourself when you relapse, before you relapse? What do you tell yourself? Oh, I'm just going to do it because I know I can stop again. What excuse do you have?
It's like you're forgetting, it's like you're doing selective memory. You're gonna think only about the good times, and you won't think about all the bad times, and you think you can get away with it again, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But at the time, it's like, if you're on height, when you're really angry, I don't know if you've ever done that, but when you're really angry, you're gonna maybe slam the table, or you will do things
I've done plenty of that. Yes.
Okay. So imagine you're a very heightened emotion.
Yeah.
You don't think right? Like you wouldn't slam a table right now for no reason when you're leveled, right? And you're like calm, cool, and collected. But if you get really angry, you will be impulsive. And for an addict to be really impulsive and with heightened emotion, with no strong recovery program in the background, he will not give a shit. Because what happens all the time, I would relapse. I would get in a state of like being somewhat angry, unwell, whatever. And I would get I call it the case of the fuck it. So I'd be like, you know what? Fuck everything. Fuck everything. I don't give a shit. Then I would go and do drugs.
I'm trying to tell myself, if you want to stop, so you stop. What was the longest you ever stopped?
Now I'm actually getting 8 months at the end of this month, but I've done over 2 years before the Olympia.
So before the Olympia, you done 2 years. That's when you
2 years and a half. Then I started drinking casually. That was the mistake. I thought I could get away with drinking, which I can, but then my recovery wasn't strong. I stopped doing my program. And then if you allow your brain to be like, it's okay if you want to, because pretty much every time you do drugs or you eat food that tastes good, is that you don't accept the moment as it is. You want to change it, right? So I was telling my brain it's okay to change how you feel when you want. But that programming is the same programming as using hard drugs, just for lesser things. So the bad wiring was getting fired up again. And then when I was like hurt or whatever, it was easy for me to fail because I trained my failing wiring
Yeah.
prior for a whole year. You understand?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get into your head, like when you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do it now, fuck it. You get to that fuck it moment.
Yeah.
And then right after you do it, do you feel guilty or?
It's like since my friend died, there was a background of guilt the whole time, but the rest overpowers it.
Yeah.
So pretty much since you know it's a problem, it's never as fun as before.
Yeah.
But you will distract yourself and you're going to feel all the drugs make you feel, but that doesn't last, right? It's like when you come down, it's like, fuck, then you freak out because you're like, you messed up. And then you try to either hide it, lie about it, or you try to stop and you fail because once you start again with whatever is your problem, it's like the obsession kicks in.
Yeah.
For a real addict, it's like, or an alcoholic, if they do the first drink and the alcohol is your problem, there will be a second drink. 100% if you're a real alcoholic. So it's like the obsession kicks in, and that's stronger than you. That's stronger than me. It's like your brain is like starts firing up, and now this is the thing that makes me feel good. This is the only solution. It's stronger than you.
I'm just thinking because you're a professional athlete, man. You have a discipline that others don't have. You can be strict with a diet. You can do so many. You can set yourself a goal and say, "I'm gonna chase this goal," and there's nothing else in between. Why can't that be the same thing with when you use drugs, knowing that I'm not supposed to do this right now? Or what's up with just casually use drugs? Like I know a lot of people, they use drugs, but they use it like every other week or every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks or whatever they party once, and then that's it. So you can't do that, huh?
No.
Yeah.
No, because the thing is, for an addict mind, like, okay, I'll try to give you so let's say 1 out of 10 is the hardest. Doing a prep for a show is like difficulty number 4 for discipline. But even if you have discipline, like stopping using drugs or you're an addict is like 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10.
Wow.
So it's like way harder because the thing is, all this bodybuilding stuff, I can do it by myself. Just me, my own effort, my own mind, I do it. But stopping using drugs by myself, I can't. Zero. I need outside help.
So what do you do now? So what do you do to make sure you don't get back to it?
So right now I'm doing every day. First of all, my new girlfriend, we're both in recovery, so that really helps when you're surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded, who will not do the bad habits that you're trying to stay away from. And I do 12-step meetings every week, at least 2 to 3 times a week. So I go there. There's other people in recovery, and we just share. We do the program, right? And that program is like there's principles in it that you apply every day, and it includes like having a higher power. So for those who believe in God, it's really easy. But for me, I didn't believe in much before my first rehab, right? So you try to find your higher power to help you out. So it's pretty much higher power, the group, outside help, and then try to live your life aligned with all that every day. And if you stop doing these things, it's like your brain goes back to what it was. Like my default setting of my brain wants to kill me, pretty much.
So do you think this is ever going to get to a point where you don't have to worry about it anymore? Or is it like,
no,
you think it's going to be always, you're going to always fight?
Hardwired.
I like the fact that you're honest about it and keep it real, because most people don't talk about it. But I think you saying what you're saying helps a lot of people to think about it twice.
The thing is now I'm grateful for the way I am and my mistakes, because without that big struggle, I would have never evolved as a person. Mm-hmm. I'm a way better person now, like as a sober me before addiction and sober me now. First of all, I got older, but I'm way better now. Mm. I'm more kind. I'm more compassionate. I'm less selfish. I'm more aligned with what's righteous in everything I do. And I learned, I know how to deal with my emotions. There's a lot of good things that came out of it. Mm. Sometimes I always say like, I wish everybody would go to rehab, even if they don't have a problem. Because it's like the real teaching that I had, school was great, but the real teaching I had was because of that.
Wow. How long did you stay in there?
I did 5 of them. So the first one was 45 days. Then I was like 3 days later, I relapsed. And then the second one was 6 months. I was like, you know what? Let's go. I did 2 in a row. 2 in a row in the same place. The guy was like, "You want to do 6 months?" Yeah, I want to do it twice in a row. So I pretty much did 2 rehabs in one. So it's like, so I did the 145 days, 1 6 months, one was it 2 months? 1 2 months, and then another one 3 months and a half, and then the last one was 30 days.
So, and you go to the same place every time, the same rehab center?
No, it was different places. Yeah.
Different places. So, and what happens there? What do they do? I mean,
so pretty much it's like you live there 24/7. You can't leave there unless you're with you have a doctor's appointment. A counselor comes with you. So they're pretty much teaching you how to live your life again without drugs, using different programs and things like that. You know, like I like the 12-step base programs, but there's a lot more than just that. There's like the smart recovery, which use more CBT and science. There's different ones, but the track record for the 12-step is the best one.
Aren't they telling you? Aren't they telling you next time, please don't come back?
They don't want you to come back, but sometimes it's like,
Shit happens.
you have to come back. Yeah.
Shit happens. Let's talk about bodybuilding. We got enough of this.
Yeah, sure.
Let's talk about bodybuilding. What was your first injury? Was that the quad or the biceps?
It was the right bicep.
And that was when you were getting ready for a show. I'm not sure which one it was.
The New York Pro 2019.
When you looked
I was 2 weeks out.
unbelievable. You were in unbelievable condition, man. What happened?
I think I was dehydrated, and I tried to move some material on the ground that was like a little bit on the deadlift platform, and I was like, I want it out there so to distract me. And it was like some bendy metal sheets you put on a wall or something, and I could lift it up like that because it was bending, but I could never move it because it was probably like 500 pounds of stuff there. So I kind of like jerked it. I wasn't thinking. I was, when you're in the groove, you're in the training, you're trying to reduce the rest between sets. So I just jerked it from the side and just fucking the thing snapped.
Wow. It's always when you're not training. Mostly. 80%.
No, always. All my injuries were both biceps when I wasn't training.
So you basically, but I remember you had surgery.
Yeah.
And then you back in the gym immediately with one arm.
Yeah. I was training legs like 2 days before the surgery too, 2 days after my tear. Because when you're prepping, you never, even like when your contest stops, you always do like the morning cardio every day for a while. And you so I was like still in prep mode. I wasn't done, so I just kept going at it. And but even after my surgery.
But now when I think about it again, see, in this case, 90% of people, athletes, would like fuck it, man, done. 2 weeks out from the show, now I'm gonna just sit home and fucking feel bad about myself. You went back to the gym.
Yeah, but
all that energy that you use, and that's what I'm thinking. How can he be soft here when he's super strong, doing this? Why can't you apply the same energy into, being just
it's
being clean?
It's because addiction is a spiritual disease.
Yeah, but bodybuilding is an addiction.
Actually, it's the opposite, because bodybuilding, like instant reward brings addiction. Bodybuilding is like delayed gratification. It's the opposite. You work hard now, you suffer now for something good later.
Okay, maybe you're right. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know much. Drugs are like, you don't do anything, you get something that makes you feel good at the second.
Yeah, but I saw, not anymore, but back in the days, I thought bodybuilding was a drug for me, because if I didn't train, I felt like something's missing, and I felt good being in the gym. So that's why I said it's kind of an addiction. It might not be as addictive.
It is to be honest, somebody who has not the habit of doing it will be really hard. But for us, because we've been doing it for years, if there's a day without training, something is missing because the habit is like strongly there. And for sure, like it's good for the brain and the hormones in the brain and the neurotransmitters to train and to work hard. Because it's funny, when I would start partying, I would not even go to the gym. I would not want to train.
Yeah.
I didn't care. As soon as I would stop, the day that I would wake up, I would go to the gym.
Gotcha.
So it's like it was one or the other.
Huh. So now after the injury, you were basically out of order for how long? Because it felt like it was real quick.
Yeah, so pretty much, I think the Cali was like in May. So I tore my bicep, and a year later I was on stage at the Cali Pro and won.
Yeah, and qualified for the Olympia.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
I mean, it's doable.
Of course, it's doable, but it's unbelievable in your case because you got so much shit going on, and then you tore your quad or something.
No, it was the other thing I tore is the other bicep.
Oh, it was the other biceps. Who tore a quad?
Yeah.
I don't remember. Somebody tore a quad. So you tore both biceps, but did you get surgery on the other one too?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So what happened there? What did you do?
I was actually here, and it was people said like I relapsed because I tore my bicep. No, I tore my bicep because I relapsed. I was like dehydrated. I was moving stuff in my house because I was moving, and I was like holding this big freeze over there, and it wasn't even that heavy. I just think that just dehydration and not being like pretty much being unhealthy, my tendon tore. And the thing is, like, as we get older, all our tendons are more fragile from all the training. So we have to be more careful with things. Do not like now. I'm not live. I know my lesson now.
Yeah.
But so I got surgery for that too, and my arm is pretty much recovered fully. All the poses you wouldn't notice, but I can see the brachialis is like not fully thick here. But this one took like a full year to be like back at a good fullness. Mm-hmm. So this one was like fixed in April. So it's been like what, 7 months?
April this year.
April
last year. Yeah, last year. I'm sorry.
Yeah, April last year.
Okay.
So, but I train hard now. I do deadlifts for 400 pounds for reps.
You look crazy again. You look crazy again. You're fucking huge. How much you weigh right now?
No, actually, now what's happening is that I was 307 like 3 or 4 weeks ago, but now I'm just clearing out the system. I have a goal of like for 2022 to get like a super health reset before doing another run for shows. So right now I'm like I was 286 this morning. I lost some weight.
286. It's equal to 130 kilos. That's a lot of weight, bro. I don't care what nobody says. Because you're in good condition, dude. You're not even fat. That's why.
I have got some good love handles in the back. But for a normal person, I think of course, I have lower body fat than the average person.
Yeah. So you don't have any contest plans for 2022?
I had Toronto in 6 months, but I just did some blood work and everything. It's like there's nothing too crazy, but it's like, you know what? I think for 2022, I want to have like a big reset. Bring everything back to like really normal, not like normal for a bodybuilder, like normal.
What are you worried about the most when it comes to blood work?
Just nothing. Sometimes like just stuff has been like if you look at the liver stuff, it's always like 30 over for a while. Just to bring it down to what normal. You mean 30 over the norm? Yeah. Yeah,
but that's nothing for bodybuilder.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But I just want to do a full reset and do like a really good run after that, right? Because if I want to compete until I'm 40, I don't want to keep like. Because the thing is, if you look at blood work, that's how I see it. Every time you reset, if it's like it should be like not higher than before, right? Because sometimes it's always like, oh, and then it's like, okay, whatever they show that you go, it's just not healthy. And but I want to compete. To be honest, like this year, I think will be the later shows. Mm-hmm. So now I'm just trying to, because I think with all the years of training I did, I will respond really quickly if I start just the stuff before prepping, but right now I think I'm done pushing 300. And it's just like with the hematology and everything is that as we get older, I think we have to be smart. Yeah. And to be honest, like, of course, the decision was made after like a lot of stuff happened last year. So I'm just trying to be smart and, because some people say, oh, this could have been, I don't know, but people speculate this could have been prevented and this or that. It's like, you know what? I'll just see what's up. And
you diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
I'm doing all the hard scan stuff and see what's up, and I was trying to be smart about it. And of course, I want to compete in 6 months. but it's like I would be more comfortable doing it, if everything is like bang on.
Yeah, gives you better motivation knowing everything is in the green light.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I feel you on that. So how was your experience doing the Olympia in 2020?
It's funny because I remember Jay and then Sean Roldan would tell me, like, you know what, just enjoy the show. It's your first Olympia. It doesn't matter where you place. You only have one first Olympia in your life. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll be in the moment. I was stressed out.
Huh?
I was a bit stressed out, to be honest. Like, I wish I would have listened to what they said more, but I tried to do it. But it was a lot of external factors that were stressing me out. And that was just before also I relapsed, right? So my mental game wasn't as strong as it is right now or what it was before that. So, but I did really enjoy it as far as, like, you know what my goal was? I wanted to compete on the same stage as Dexter Jackson because Dexter Jackson was in the top 6 when I picked up that magazine when I started training.
Gotcha.
So for the whole, was it almost like 20 years, he was in the top 6 at the Olympia. So I was like, when I started training, it was the top 6. So when he retired, I was able to do my first Olympia with him on stage. So I think that was pretty cool. And I had some good pictures, hung out backstage. The Pump Pump Crew was great. And Phil Heath was there. It was a good Olympia that year. It was a lot of good guys.
Yeah.
So I was pretty happy, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So the goal is to go back to the Olympia, of course.
Oh, of course, yeah. I think I could do it, to be honest. Like,
so looking at the Olympia 21 compared to 20, what did you see? Because I know, once you're on stage, you stand on stage, you don't really see what's going on next to you, but you're probably watching it back afterwards.
Well, from what I've seen with the pictures, I think Ramy looked better the year before.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that one shot from the side with his tricep. Last year, I was like, holy fuck. But this year, he didn't have the same thing. Mm-hmm. And then Brandon Curry was kind of like the same, but way bigger. And Hadi was like, I think he was better, like either the finals or prejudging. He switched something up. But I feel like just the overall, like, Olympia was a bigger event the year before as far as the competition, because it was just like Phil Heath's comeback. Yeah. It was like Ramy won for the first time and all that stuff, right? And Hadi was like pretty good too. And there was like, I don't know, I just feel like the one I did was a bigger event and more outstanding than the one the year after.
So, but when you look at the newer guys like Nick Walker and
oh yeah,
Hunter.
That was cool. That was cool to see these guys on stage though.
Yeah,
I do feel like maybe the year before there was like it was pretty good this year too though. If you look at Nick Walker, he fucking cracked the top 5, right?
Yeah, he got 5th. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. But I think Nick was like the Arnold was because it's kind of hard to do shows back to back like that. But he fucking held his own, that's for sure. It was really impressive to see him there. And but yeah, I think now it's like a lot of the guys were at the top. Like, you remember Rolly was at the top before. Now it's like,
yeah. I
wonder if it's just age or motivation. I'm not him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of older guys that might happen, because even William Bonac now is not placing as well as before.
Yeah. But it looks like there's a generation switch about to happen.
Exactly.
And some of the guys, with Rolly, I can see it being both, not only motivation but also age. Because listen, not everybody is like Dexter Jackson. That's not possible. Yeah. I tried it. I know I couldn't. So and Rolly is in his mid-40s. So, you could get to the point where the body just doesn't respond no more to the same things you've been doing for years,
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, and sooner or later, this is going to be a generation switch. I mean, Phil's gone, I mean, there's a lot of guys. And I went through the same thing, me and Dexter, when we came up. There was Flex, there was Kevin, there was Sean, there was NASA, there was all these guys. I said, we got to wait for them to leave. In order to move up, so it's not that easy. So, but, I was a little worried, I said, there's not enough guys coming, there's no new generation coming up. But now when you see guys like Hunter, Nick, Ian, all these guys who said, I think the sport is not in trouble. So, and even with you, I mean, you're still a force. I mean, you're 34 years old. I mean, come on. You're still a baby in the sport when you think about it.
Yeah. No, for sure. I know I'll be back and I can qualify again. I just know that, like, looking at, like, because every time I go on stage, I'm always better. Yeah. Like, even though I have these adversities, it didn't stop me from improving before. But you're right. Like, I think the new guys coming up, like, who are already up, are really good now. Like, it's good. I think the next generation is like the guys you mentioned. They're going to be like battling for a long time unless some freak comes out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. There's always there's not as much of those before. Remember, like back in maybe in your time, you would have a guy who would be like 22 years old, do 2 shows, do nationals, win, and then be really, really good. It's like isn't like Lavron was one of these guys?
Lavron, Flex.
Yeah. Chris Cormier.
Yeah. Flex was.
They were all younger pros.
Yeah, Flex and Kevin both placed, I think, second at their first Olympia.
Yeah. I don't think we'll see any of that unless, who knows, right?
Yeah.
But
you'll never know. You'll never know.
Never know. Never know.
So look, fast forward, look to the Arnold, man. What do you got for the Arnold? It's going to be a huge lineup. It's much better than expected. We got.
What's the?
We got the Arnold. I can tell you, we got Brandon Curry, William Bonac. We got Regan Grimes. We got Samson Dauda. We got Justin Rodriguez, Akeem Williams. Who am I missing?
Well, it doesn't matter because Brandon Curry's showing up.
Mohammed Shaban. Yeah. So you think it's a shoe in for Brandon?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Unless like Bonac comes like because there's a few times Bonac was like pushing Brandon Curry. Remember that?
Yeah.
So it's like I think it's gonna be these two, and unless some of these guys really improve dramatically, they're gonna be good. I mean, Regan has the potential to be like up there for sure.
Oh, I forgot Brett Wilkins also in it.
Oh yeah, I think he has a chance to be at the top 2.
Yeah,
I really like his physique.
Yeah,
he's very, very nice.
Yeah.
So I think but I think Brandon Curry should win that.
Yeah, if Brandon Curry comes in like Brandon Curry, I don't see anybody beating him, to be honest.
Yeah.
But if he leaves the door open,
yeah,
then there's a chance for some of the newer guys to make a name for themselves. Because I always tell people, I said, if you place well at the Arnold, you set yourself up for a first call out at the Olympia.
I think the only way to beat Brandon Curry is that if somebody with a really good structure would have the same size and a better density and separation. Because I think Curry is like, his muscle abilities are insane. I don't think anybody can match that. Mm-hmm. But if somebody like Brett Wilkins would add like the same amount of muscle that Brandon Curry has, he has more details, right? And everything. So that's the only way I see somebody doing that. But like, they better be training hard to beat Brandon. That's for sure.
I mean, I'm sure Brandon is going to do everything, leave no stone unturned to get to the Arnold to get that title because he needs that title to
for sure.
to set himself up to for another Olympia title in December.
No, I think he's my favorite because I've met him a few times. I've met his wife a few times, his family.
Oh, beautiful people!
Guy.
Yeah, beautiful people.
Yes,
the whole family.
I think he was the really good Mr. Olympia representation, and I just wish he was more present, traveling more. Like remember like when Jay was like doing the Olympia, even after.
I know, but you have to understand. Sometimes, even though you Mr. Olympia, you can only travel to where people want you. I mean, sometimes if there's no offers or, what are you going to do? You just go walk out in the street, take the trophy, and just walk around the buildings.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got. Jay was very. I mean, everybody wanted Jay.
That's true.
So it was. Yeah. I don't want to say it was easier for him because it wasn't, but it was. It's different if everybody is throwing money at you just to have you there.
Yeah.
So I think Brandon did really, really, really well. I mean, he did. I mean, he was everywhere. He could possibly be. It's just a matter of back in the days there was more opportunities to travel overseas to guest pose.
Yeah. Maybe because there was less of a social media.
Yeah. Yeah, possible.
Yeah.
But it's different.
But yeah.
It's different if there's, everybody's calling you from all countries, said, yeah, I want you to guest post here, guest post there, and then throw money at you, fly you in, and if there's no office, where are you going to go?
Yeah, even Rami, did he do a lot of stuff?
It was COVID. There was nothing there.
You're right. You're right.
That's the problem with COVID. There's nothing there, So it's not that easy,
No, it's not. My favorite to win is Brandon because I just like first of all the physique is amazing and I really like the human.
All right. Let me get your top 5 from the people that I mentioned.
Okay, so Brandon Curry, and then you mentioned a few other people. I think
William Reagan, Justin Rodriguez, Akeem Williams, Steve Kuklo.
Okay, well,
Brett, and Mohammed Shaban.
Yeah, I think. Okay, so Akeem, because he was good this year at Olympia. Akeem, right?
That was last year at the 2020.
He was good last year. Yeah, okay.
2020.
So I think Akeem. I'm gonna put Akeem third. Justin or Brett 4 or 5. What do you think?
I'm gonna let you go. I'll let you go first.
Well, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there.
Yeah. Okay. I will go with Brandon. I'm gonna talk to William next week, so I'm gonna keep that. We'll just leave it there right now. Brandon, okay. William. You know what? Brett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
didn't want to. Sometimes you have to say what you want to say because I know you don't want to disrespect veterans or guys that have been there longer. Sometimes you just got to give it to the newer guys. And I think Brett has what people want to see. He brings that crazy condition.
I know. Crazy guy. I mean, that's why I like him a lot. Yeah. I just wonder if he's going to add enough muscle in that time that he was training for this.
And I just hope that none of these guys, neither William or Brandon, are coming in off just a little bit. Because if they're just a little bit off, they're going to get exposed.
Yeah. Don't come off, guys.
Yeah.
Fucking nail it for this one. We want to see everybody shredded.
Yeah. And you know what? To be honest, these guys always look good at the Arnold. Brandon always looked great at the Arnold. So did William. I mean, William is a 2-time Arnold Classic champion.
He is.
So I'm looking forward to it. Me and Ford going to be commentating the pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's great. I was like, I think I read that. I think it was Fuad who mentioned that. I saw it or heard it somewhere. I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God, Yeah, because you know why I'm saying that.
I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. I understand. That's
great. I'm really happy to that you guys are going to do that.
Would that be something? Would that be something you'd be interested in the future?
Yeah. I mean, I got to work on my speaking ability, but
what do you need to work on? You speak perfectly fine. What's wrong with your speaking ability?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like because it's not my first language, right?
It's not my first language either. I don't care.
You're German.
I know, but it's not my first language. English is not my first language.
No, I just realized you're from Germany.
Yeah. So who cares? People know you for who you are. They understand.
That's true.
We understand everything you say, and it sounds perfect to me. So.
Thanks. Yeah, I would do it 100%.
At the end of the day, it's your personality that comes across, not what you're saying. It's the personality that's important.
You know what's funny? Fuad Abiad made me MC one of his shows before.
There you go. Well,
yeah, I was talking to the microphone in the front. It was funny.
There you go. See?
Yeah, people loved it. Yeah.
There you go. So that might be something, keep in mind.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
You're right.
Man, listen, I appreciate you coming on, talking to me, man. I really appreciate you being honest about everything because, there's not a lot of people, give you 100%. They'll try to keep some things under wraps and, don't want to talk about stuff, but you you let it all go. And I appreciate that because I think you help a lot of people with that. I wish you all the best. Get to this healthy status wherever you want to go. Get back to training and get back to competing and get that qualification and come back to the Olympia, brother.
I will.
We need Canada to represent at the Olympia.
Yeah, with Ian and Regan and all these guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's a little Canadian crew that's coming over.
Yeah.
To do some damage.
Connection.
Yeah, and they're all doing really well, and I like that.
Very well. Yeah, very well.
All right, brother. So take care, my man. Thank you. God bless you, and stay safe.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, bro.